Hi, my name is Alex, and I recorded this video because I was having trouble with my Honda Ridgeline and the tailgate swinging open the side action. It's 2007 Honda Ridgeline. You can see there. Love the truck, everything about it. I really like the feature with the swing out tailgate. Problem was, after a couple of years of owning it, um, the action on the lever stopped working. So right here you can see, if you go underneath, the tailgate's closed, you pull on this lever right here, swings open to the side, and those either have a Ridgeline and have any problems, hopefully this will help you. I tried everything. As you can see, I've got a whole barrage of tools, lubricants, cleaners, um, and I've had this section apart probably 5 or 6 times since I've owned the vehicle, more times than I care to mention. Um, so hopefully, like I said, this helps. Standard taken off of the cap right here. You've got the 3 screws, 4 screws actually, and you can see right here in the holes. You can pop it off. Preferred way is to supposedly to slide it off, and these pins are supposed to stay engaged in the holes, but that never worked for me, so I always had to pop it off and just remove it manually. I have broken a few of those tabs, but it seems to go back on okay. Never had any issues with it coming off or being loose or anything. And then the standard removal, you've got your 7 bolts that go right here. They look like that. I believe it's a T40 or T44 if I'm not mistaken, just to remove those. So once you get that off, if you've ever messed with this before, you're familiar with how to get it off. We just set it to the side. Sorry about the video quality, but as you can see, this is all your actuating rods, everything that opens and operates this tailgate. Well, I've lubricated, I've tried to do everything I can. I even tried to adjust some of these because I thought maybe they weren't pushing things back where they needed to go. And a lot of the videos I saw, people were adjusting rods and kind of bending them a little bit. Saw a video where they just cleaned it off and it worked okay. I did that initially. First time or two I took this apart, that actually worked, because what I found was some of the parts, they don't want to be as mobile as they once were. So the lubrication helps in the maybe for the first few times you do it, but beyond that, I did have to end up adjusting the cable right here. You can see this is actually just a oh gosh, what do you call it? A wall anchor, for put basically a nail or a screw in there, put it in drywall. It worked for me because it was a hard plastic, and it gave me the amount of room I needed right here just to get a little bit more on the action when I pull the cable. As you can see there, I pulled the cable and it gave me a little bit more tension. I took everything apart. I had this whole assembly off, which is really easy. There's these 4 T45, I believe, screws right here, and made sure all the connections were okay, and they were. And what I found, after I really feel kind of dumb after all this time, and looking at this, what I found was right here, this part of the assembly, this arm where you have the red connector, this plastic, it's basically like it's a locking knob, and it goes against this plate right here. Once the tailgate is closed, it closes up against this plate, and that's what actually moves this green and purple, or I'm sorry, green and red arm that detach this lock over here and this one up here. The purple one actually goes up here, but it all works in conjunction. And what I found was this was swinging out too far, and my plastic knob was sliding all the way out, So when I was pulling on the lever, it was basically doing this. And that'll happen when it's open like this. So once you close it, I'll show you the reverse side. Now you can see that the plastic knob has slid all the way over. And that only happens once you close it. So what I figured out was that this was popping all the way up here and my plastic knob wasn't engaging. It had to be down to a certain point in order for the plastic knob to engage every single time you closed it. So what I ended up doing, I'll show you, it works great, is I actually had to put a plate right here to keep this arm in place, basically to limit its mobility from going beyond this point right here. So what I did was I basically measured how far I needed it to go to slide under. Right here you can see that striker plate there. So it had to slide under that every time I closed it. And so I got a piece of, it's pretty good gauge steel right here. It's not really very bendable or anything, and you have to make sure that you get something that's not going to bend all the time. You don't want to have to be taking this apart like me 12 times to figure out what's wrong with it. And that really did the trick. So once I played with it, I watched all the actions every time I opened it and closed it, and determined there was no reason or no need for this to swing up beyond where it was going. It just basically was not, I guess with the lubrication, it was just getting stuck in the up position, and then my lever wasn't working, because as you pull the lever or push the lever, you can see it's actuating the red and purple, and this just goes down. That's the only thing it really needs to do, is go down to unlock the side over here. So with this in place there, you can see it just basically stops it from going any higher than where it needs to go, and that did the trick. It works great from the side, from the top, no issues. So I'm going to put it back together now. I hope that helps anybody who has the same issue that I have, and saves you years and years of spending time taking apart your tailgate. Thanks.